In a grid-down SHTF scenario, hunger is a slow enemy, but infection is fast. When the supply chains halt, pharmacies will be looted and stripped bare within the first 48 hours. There will be no antibiotics. There will be no painkillers. There will be no trauma care. In this brutal reality, a simple cut from a rusted tool, a sprained ankle, or a seasonal fever can easily become a death sentence. True caloric sovereignty is useless if you do not also possess medical sovereignty. The educated homesteader does not rely on fragile plastic pill bottles. They cultivate a living, unkillable medical vault in their own soil. Today, we reveal the 7 SHTF medicinal crops you must plant right now. When the medicine runs out, these plants will keep you alive. Let's begin. First, the ultimate battlefield trauma medicine, yarrow. Known scientifically as Achillea millefolium, this plant was named after Achilles, and for thousands of years, armies carried it into war to stop severe bleeding. Yarrow is a rugged, deeply resilient perennial weed that survives in terrible dry soils. In a grid-down scenario where hospitals do not exist, severe lacerations and blood loss are immediate threats. By harvesting the leaves and flowers of the yarrow plant and crushing them into a poultice to pack directly into a wound, it aggressively coagulates the blood and stops bleeding almost instantly. It also contains powerful antimicrobial properties, sealing the wound from secondary infections. Plant a patch of yarrow and you have a permanent, living trauma kit. Second, the off-grid painkiller, white willow. Pain management is not a luxury in survival, it is a necessity. Severe pain prevents you from working, defending your perimeter, and sleeping. The white willow tree is a fast-growing, water-loving plant that you only need to establish once. The inner bark of this tree contains salicin, the exact chemical precursor to modern aspirin. By carefully shaving the inner bark and boiling it into a dark, bitter tea, you extract a powerful natural analgesic. It rapidly reduces severe joint pain, muscle inflammation, and debilitating headaches. By planting a single willow near a water source, you secure decades of infinite, naturally regenerating painkillers for your family. Third, the unkillable skin healer, broadleaf plantain. Do not confuse this with the banana-like fruit. Plantago major is an invasive, ground-hugging weed that most people poison with herbicides to keep their lawns perfectly green. They are destroying a vital medical asset. In a collapse scenario, insect bites, spider stings, rashes, and localized skin infections will plague your camp. Plantain leaves contain potent compounds called allantoin and aucubin, which rapidly draw out toxins, venom, and microscopic debris from the skin while accelerating tissue repair. If you are stung or cut, you simply chew a leaf to release the enzymes, spit it onto the wound, and bind it. It is a biological drawing salve that grows aggressively in compacted dirt and gravel. Fourth, the sovereign antibiotic, hardneck garlic. When modern antibiotics expire or run out, minor internal infections will become fatal. Hardneck garlic is not just a flavor enhancer. It is one of the most potent, broad-spectrum natural antibiotics on Earth. It survives brutal, freezing winters underground and requires zero maintenance. When crushed or chewed raw, it releases allicin, a powerful sulfur compound that aggressively attacks bacterial, fungal, and viral infections. In historical epidemics, garlic was the primary defense against sweeping illnesses. To survive an SHTF winter, you must have a massive, hidden crop of hardneck garlic. It is your internal shield when the medical system is entirely gone. Fifth, the bone knitter, comfrey. Severe physical labor in a post-collapse world will inevitably lead to sprains, torn ligaments, and even bone fractures. Without a doctor to set and cast a bone properly, recovery can take months, leaving you completely vulnerable. Comfrey is a massive, deep-rooted perennial that acts as a biological accelerator for the human body. The roots and heavy leaves contain massive amounts of allantoin, a chemical that explicitly stimulates rapid cell division and tissue growth. By boiling the leaves and wrapping them tightly around a sprained ankle or a splinted fracture, you dramatically accelerate the healing process. Comfrey is so effective it earned the historical name knitbone. Plant it once, and it will outlive you. Sixth, the deep infection fighter, echinacea, or the purple coneflower. To the untrained eye, this is just a beautiful, generic landscaping flower. Looters will completely ignore it. But beneath the soil, the thick, black roots of the echinacea plant contain an arsenal of immune-stimulating alkylamides. When you feel a deep chest infection, a severe cold, or a respiratory illness taking hold, you dig up the root, clean it, and boil it into a potent decoction. It forcefully spikes your white blood cell count, giving your immune system the ammunition it needs to destroy the infection before it settles into your lungs. It is an invisible, beautiful pharmacy. And seventh, the fever breaker, feverfew. In a survival situation, a high, uncontrollable fever can cause severe dehydration and neurological damage. Feverfew is a rugged, daisy-like perennial that spreads rapidly and ignores neglect. As the name suggests, chewing the bitter leaves or brewing them into a tea forces the body to sweat, naturally breaking dangerous fevers. Furthermore, it is clinically proven to prevent and stop debilitating migraines by preventing the blood vessels in the brain from constricting. When you cannot afford to be paralyzed by a migraine while defending your homestead, this plant is your biological override. Modern medicine is a fragile supply chain. The sovereign homesteader does not outsource their health to a system that will collapse. By planting these 7 medicinal crops, you secure a living pharmacy that can never be looted, never expires, and never stops producing. Plant once, harvest forever. Which of these medical plants will you establish on your property first? Let me know in the comments below. We are the Soil Guardian. Subscribe for biological sovereignty and stay in the light.